Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. So today I'm going to do a video all about Facetune and filters on social media and Instagram. Nearly a year ago now I did a video all about Instagram models, the insecurity which comes out of a lot of young women because of Instagram models, and how it's not all as it seems. At the end of the day it is still a picture. And basically since then my opinions on Facetune have changed quite a bit. I did lightly touch on Facetune in that video, but I didn't talk about it all that much. The whole message of the video still stands, but on Facetune in particular, my opinions changed. So in that video, I basically said that I don't see anything wrong with Facetune as long as you disclaim it. I don't really agree with that anymore, and that's what I'm going to get into with this video. And I also will be touching on sort of the beautifying filters on Snapchat and Instagram as well. And just before I do get started, for this video, I did ask you guys over on my Instagram for all you guys' participation and help, and so many of you guys helped me out, so thank you so much. Everyone that DM'd me, answered my polls, answered my questions, thank you. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, because a lot of time with social commentary videos I ask for you guys' help, so make sure you do follow my Instagram so you can sort of participate in the next video. If you're new here, subscribe. I upload weekly. I do anything from social commentary to sort of lifestyle stuff, so subscribe and make sure you switch on the notification bell so you know whenever I upload. I was very inspired by Tiffany Ferguson's videos. If you guys don't know who Tiffany Ferguson is, check her out. She's maybe one of my all-time favourite YouTubers. She does the most amazing videos, and she basically did a whole series about like fillers and Facetune and filters, so I'll link all of her videos down below because they really did help me out in my research. So Facetune, the first thing I'm going to address with Facetune is Facetune and normal people. So we all know that photoshopping used to be a really big problem, especially in the early noughties. Does anyone remember that Britney Spears campaign about anti-airbrushing? Fucking iconic. I think the difference is between then and now is that Facetune is so accessible to everyone. I'm pretty sure you can get it for free. It's so accessible and anyone can learn how to use it. There's literally tutorials on YouTube of how to Facetune your pictures well. Before we had, you know, like fucking iPhones and shit, unless you knew how to use Photoshop, there was no way of editing your pictures. If you guys don't know what Facetune is, it's basically a photo editing app which you can use to smooth your skin, all of that stuff. It's basically Photoshop. Like when people say, I don't Photoshop my pictures, I Facetune them, like bitch, it's the same thing. So first thing I'm going to be touching on is subtle face tuning. This is something which a lot of people do. I think the last picture I Facetuned was this one. I'm pretty sure I smoothed the skin, whitened the eyes. I think I sharpened it too. And no, I'm not going to sit here being like, oh, I don't use Facetune and me. Like, I don't want to be like really patronizing. I just don't feel the need to use it anymore because I use the front camera a lot less. So the first thing I did on Instagram was I asked you guys, I did loads of polls about Facetune. So I asked two questions in relation to subtle Facetune. The first one being, if you Facetune your pictures, are you insecure? Around 250 people answered this poll and 63% said yes. And then when I asked to what extent do you guys Facetune your pictures, 93% said you just did it very subtly. A lot of you guys messaged me saying use it to smooth your skin, whiten your teeth, smooth over blemishes, bumps, under eye circles. That's what I used to use it for. Whitening your eyes, sharpening your pictures, making them look better quality. Now, the reason I used to Facetune my pictures was because the iPhone front camera makes me look fucking hideous. I don't know what it is. I'm very lucky. My Canon, I use a Canon G7X. I feel like it makes me look great. The iPhone front camera, there's something about it that actually makes me look disgusting. We all know I did a Euphoria Get Ready With Me video a couple weeks ago. I did this gorgeous makeup, like not even to hype myself up. My makeup looked sick. I was walking around my room like, oh, Euphoria should just cast me already. I look fucking amazing. I went to go and take some selfies and I looked fucking grim. I'll insert the pictures here. They were just a mess. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? If I'd used one of those pictures, I would have Facetuned it to absolute death because the front camera just looks bloody horrible on me. And that's why I used to Facetune my pictures back in the day, because if I went to take a front camera selfie, I would have to Facetune my pictures because I just looked so gross on front camera. I feel like that's a very big reason why people Facetune their pictures. pictures, because the iPhone front camera, especially because it flips your pictures too, it's just not the most flattering, especially on me. Cameras in general, different cameras work for different people. Facetune seems pretty harmless. It seems like, oh well, you know what, if we just all Facetune our pictures like really subtly, then it's fine. I'm so torn on the subject of Facetune, because I can understand wanting to Facetune a picture where you feel like, why do my under eyes look so prominent? It's just because it's a bad camera. But the problem is with subtle Facetuning is that you don't know what pictures have been Facetuned. People are so fucking good at it, you have no idea what pictures have been Facetuned. So now these amazing flawless selfies have become the norm, and they've almost makes things like texture on your skin, spots, bumps, under eye circles, shadows on your top lip, yellow teeth. They've made it seem like those aren't normal features to have. Everyone has skin texture. A lot of people have yellow teeth. A lot of people have like those lines under their eyes and shadows under their eyes. So Facetune, and the fact that everyone can access Facetune, has made these features seem not normal anymore. And again, these things like skin texture and yellow teeth have suddenly become a flaw when they shouldn't be a flaw, because they're a completely normal thing to have. And it sort of brings up the question of, are we Facetuning our pictures because we want to, or are we Facetuning our pictures because we feel like we need to? You know, I Facetune them because we want to, because the camera does accentuate certain flaws which we don't see in the mirror, or are we Facetuning because there's so many flawless selfies on Instagram that if we post one which you can see a little bit of skin texture, you feel really insecure about it? So as I said before, 62% of around 250 people said that they use Facetune because they feel insecure. And a lot of people said that they Facetune because they just want to look a little bit better. But why do we feel like we look better without normal features like skin texture? And I think it's absolute fucking bullshit that social media has made common features into flaws. It's made skin texture into a flaw. It's made slightly yellow teeth into a flaw. It's made under eye circles into a flaw. And now people are feeling the need to Facetune it out. And now people feel like they can't even post a selfie without Facetuning it, because these normal features like fucking skin texture isn't normal anymore. People think that it's not normal because they don't fucking see it anywhere, because everyone's Facetuning their pictures. And a lot of people said they felt like they could not post a selfie on Instagram without Facetune, which in a way Facetune is good for that, because people feel like it gives people the confidence to be able to post a picture online. But it's also like, why do people feel like they can't post a picture online? Is it because all we see on Instagram is people who are completely fucking flawless? And one thing which really surprised me was a few men actually answered my poll and said that they use Facetune because they feel insecure. I don't know, maybe this is just me being ignorant, but I didn't really realise until I did those polls that it was a male issue as well. Do need to remember that there is an extremely high beauty standard for men as well, and we need to remember that men are affected by this issue. And a lot of people did say that they felt like there was nothing wrong with Facetune, which I can understand, because obviously it's giving people the confidence to be able to post a picture online. We are the first generation ever to have access to tools like Facetune and to be able to alter our pictures in such a way, even if it's just subtly. We are the first generation that has access to that. So we don't know the repercussions of Facetune. We don't know the negative effects of Facetune, because there hasn't been a long-term study about it. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is extreme Facetune. This is sort of what really made me want to talk about Facetune, because there was obviously that picture going around of Tana Mojo. I can't say her name. Whenever I hear her name, I just think of iDove saying Tana Mongoose. So the two people which I immediately pop into my head when I think of extreme Facetuning is Tana Mojo and Anastasia Kvitko. They are both infamous, especially Anastasia, for using excessive Facetune to the point where it does not even look like them. So Tana is a self-proclaimed Facetune user. She goes on about using Facetune all the time and how she doesn't care. It sort of led me on to the question of, does disclaiming it make it any better? Back in my old Instagram video, I said I don't see anything wrong with Facetune as long as you disclaim it, which I think my mind has changed a little bit since then. I think that what Tana is doing is she is Facetuning into her ideal self. She's face tuning in what she wants to look like because she's so extremely face tunes her pictures. And basically, when does that stop? How far do you go? Because people like Tana and Anastasia have gone so far, and it's like, not only is it unhealthy for the young girls that are looking at these pictures, even though they do know it's face tune, it must be more unhealthy for them as people. And even when you do disclaim that you use Facetune, you need to remember, especially Tana, she needs to remember that she has an extremely young and an extremely impressionable audience. So she's almost pushing out the message that you can't post a picture on Instagram unless it looks completely flawless and face-tuned. With people like Tana and Anastasia, is it done out of insecurity or is it just a bit of fun? So many questions swirl around my head when I start chatting and just thinking about extreme face-tune. Like, do they feel conflicted when they look in the mirror and it's not the way they present themselves on social media? Did they want to end up extreme face tuning, or did they sort of fall into a hole? Because a lot of people did tell me that when they start face tuning, they feel like they can't stop. Your face tuned self is the way that you present yourself on your social media profile. So whoever just follows your social media profile, that's what they think that you look like. So when you start face tuning, you need to keep it up, and I feel like maybe it sort of snowballs. And it does make me think, do they like the way they look? Like, because they face tune themselves so extremely, do they actually like the way that they look in real life, and is Facetune just a little bit of fun? Because I kind of fail to believe that would upload these so extremely Facetune pictures yet still like the way they look in real life. Like, I just feel like it ruins your self-perception. Like, I believe it's more unhealthy for the face tuner rather than the audience that follows them. My friend Cheska did me a huge favour and face tuned my picture. I just sent her a few pictures and I was like, face tune them, bitch. And she basically did an extreme face tune on one of my pictures, just so you guys can see how much you can change yourself. So this is the original picture. Oh, what a lovely picture. My makeup looks so good. Oh, look at my hair. And then this is the face tuned one. I find it insane that we can do this. I find it so insane that we have access to these kinds of tools and that it's so easy to learn and so easy to use. So now that I'm done with sort of talking about extreme face tuning, I'm now going to talk about face tuning and makeup and how it affects the makeup industry, how it affects makeup artists. Facetune has become extremely common among the makeup community and the beauty guru community. So many beauty gurus face tune their pictures, and don't get me wrong, I do think sometimes Facetune is needed for makeup looks. I know a lot of people in my life that face tune their makeup looks because they don't have access to a ring light or a camera, and the lighting in their house or their flat isn't very nice, so they'll use Facetune to just brighten up the look a little bit, because they find that when they look in the mirror and when they look on the iPhone camera, that the look just does not look the same. It doesn't look as bright, it doesn't look as vibrant. So James Charles, we all know who James Charles is. He is also a self-proclaimed Facetune user. He uses Facetune to brighten his makeup looks. I'll insert a few pictures. The Facetune changes it a lot. He's recently got himself into a little bit of hot water because he basically posted a picture of like a Louis Vuitton like cut crease thing, and apparently, allegedly, the whole thing was done using Facetune. And James Charles, again, like Tana Mojo, is someone that has an extremely young, impressionable audience, and he needs to be careful. And I think that people, especially YouTubers, because so many young people are on YouTube watching YouTube videos, they need to have a little bit more responsibility, and they need to be careful, and they need to really take into consideration and think about the fact that they have an extremely young audience. I think the problem is with Facetune and makeup is that it gives people really unrealistic expectations of makeup. No foundation is ever going to be as smooth as the pictures you see on Instagram, the Facetune pictures you see on Instagram. No highlighter is going to look as smooth and as poppin' as it does on Instagram. No eyeshadow is going to look as bright as you see it on a Facetuned Instagram picture. It sets very unrealistic expectations of what makeup can do. I mean, it makes makeup artists' jobs harder because people now have such unrealistic and high expectations of what their makeup look's gonna look like. People take it so far. Like, the ridiculous smooth skin that I see on Instagram, like to the point where like it doesn't even look real, it just looks a bit silly. I feel like there are so many talented makeup artists that don't get the credit they deserve because they don't Facetune their pictures to the extreme. When you're on your explore page and you see a makeup look, the ones which stand out the most are the Facetuned ones because they're the brightest, they're the smoothest, and your eyes just gravitate towards them. So there's so many makeup artists that don't get enough credit for the work that they do because they decide not to Facetune their pictures. So that's sort of the Facetune section done. Sort of in summary, I still feel super conflicted about Facetune. I think it's so easily accessible and we are the first generation ever to have access to Photoshop and how easily accessible it is and how so many people use it, and it's just worrying and it just makes me feel a bit icky. Facetune is great for when the iPhone camera picks up features that you don't want it to pick up, like under eye circles and skin texture, but it is a shame that we feel the need to Facetune these completely normal features. I think extreme Facetuning is extremely unhealthy. It's a shame because I think the reason that people Facetune their pictures, it's all just a vicious cycle. Like, people Facetune their pictures because they see other people's flawless selfies and feel like their selfies aren't good enough, so then they Facetune and then someone else sees it, and yeah, it's a vicious cycle. You guys know what I'm saying. I think people just need to be careful, need to find the confidence within themselves, which I know is hard and it's much easier said than done. It can't be healthy to Facetune your pictures to the extreme because what you see in the mirror and what you see on your phone is going to be two completely different things. I'm not hating on anyone that Facetunes their pictures to the extreme because obviously there is an insecurity issue there. I'm not hating on anyone, I just want to put it out there that I don't think it's healthy. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is filters. The topic of filters has again sort of popped up on social media because of these sort of like, I like to call them sort of like Bella Hadid filters. Like, I use them, they're like really cool. They're basically filters which extremely smooth your skin, lifted your eyes like this, made your lips bigger. Like, fuck, I looked fit. I'm not gonna lie, when I was using these filters it really made me want to get like surgery. But luckily, obviously, I didn't actually legit want to go and get surgery. It did cross my mind for a bit, and it sort of brought up the question of, are these filters healthy and does it ruin your self-perception, like Tiffany Ferguson's video is about, do filters ruin your self-perception? In my opinion, filters are just an easy Facetune. All you need to do is hold your face in front of the camera and it's there, and you look great and you look flawless, and that's it. I guess the good thing about filters is that they are very transparent. You know when someone's using a filter, especially on Instagram, it will say what filter they're using. I have a little selfies highlight on my Instagram because I am vain. I recently cleared it out because I realized how many pictures I used a filter on. And these are filters, again, I'm so conflicted the same way I am with Facetune because sometimes I do my makeup and it looks nice and I want to take a picture and the front camera on the iPhone makes me look fucking hideous. And that's why I use filters on Instagram, because the front camera does just look horrible and I do just want to post like a really chill selfie, like using a cute little filter, and at least people know that I'm using a filter. And filters are good for things like Instagram stories because the front camera does really do some of us dirty. I mean, it is a shame that filters have become such a default. Every single time you take a picture it is like, oh, what filter should we use? And it's like never like, oh, should we just take one without a filter? And then the awful thing about filters is that when you're like on it and then it comes off a bit and you truly realize how hideous you are. I think that's why it sort of fucks up your self-perception a little bit, because cameras aren't the way that you look, especially your front camera is not the way that you look. When that filter comes off and like you feel like shit afterwards, and like whenever I use like a filter and then it comes off a little bit, I feel like a fraud. And filters are another tool for people who Facetune their pictures to the extreme to use to keep up their image. And one thing about filters which I think is a huge problem is the fact that they are so easily accessible to very, very young children. I did not know this, but some 9-year-olds have Snapchat. I'm talking like 9 to 13-year-olds have Instagram and have Snapchat now. And these filters, when you use them, obviously I'm talking about the beautifying filters, I'm not talking about the funny ones. They sort of drill beauty standards into your subconscious. And I think especially when you're using them when you're young, you obviously don't realise the effect that it's having on you. But yeah, that's the video all done. Did I know where this was going? No. It was just something I wanted to talk about with you guys. I wanted to know your opinions on it, whether you think I'm completely wrong and you don't see a single issue with Facetune and filters, or whether you think she's got a point. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll be back next week for a new video. Goodbye. Mwah.